What's good, guys? I'm coming to you from my hotel room here in Pittsburgh. About to go to Steelers training camp in Latrobe once again. Last night, Cassie and I went to Friday Night Lights, of course, at Latrobe Memorial Stadium. And let me just say, guys, it was absolutely packed. I think the estimations had it at over 15,000 people packed into that high school stadium in Pennsylvania. So it was absolutely electric. Seeing everybody there was so much fun. And today I'll be live tweeting once again from Latrobe. So if you want to get all the video that we take today, all my takeaways from practice, make sure you guys follow me on Twitter at Jack_Sperry. Really do appreciate all of your guys' support. But today I'm going to be recapping last night's practice. All right, I'll probably put out another practice report tomorrow morning, because Cassie and I are going to the Pirates game tonight after practice, so probably won't get to one tonight. But just so you guys know, we'll be getting these practice reports out on the channel. So let's start here with Russell Wilson. And, I went to the night hoping that he was going to play a little bit more, because, he had a full day of rest, all this stuff, from, Thursday morning all the way to Friday night. It seemed like quite a bit of time to hopefully get him in a little bit with the 11-on-11 periods in practice. And that didn't happen. He was still limited. He only had 6 team period reps once again, and then those once again came in the 7-on-7 period. But he was perfect in that period, 6 of 6. He had he ripped a nice in cut to, I believe it was Michael Pruitt, in the middle of the field for his biggest gain of the night. It was a good day for Russell Wilson. He looks sharp. He looks on top of the offense. And it's 7-on-7. It's not 11-on-11 football. We know that NFL football is played with 11 men on each side of the ball, not 7. So he's going to have to get in there. And we still haven't seen what Russell Wilson looks like going up against 11 defenders, right? So that's something that we need to see from him still, because this team is definitely still being careful with him. He's moving around perfectly fine. You watch him he does all the drills, he does all the individual stuff, he's throwing in between the team periods, all that stuff, but he's just not getting in there for the team period stuff, because the team doesn't want him, to step on somebody or for somebody to step on him, and then the injury gets worse. And, that's just something that this team is not willing to do right now. But he's doing pretty much everything else. He's participating in pretty much every other drill. And he's throwing a lot during practice. So it's not like Russ isn't getting work in. He's getting plenty of work in. It's just not that much work in terms of 11-on-11 live reps, which is something that he does need to go to to go to that next level moving forward. I will say, when he was throwing during the individual periods, one-on-ones, and then of course in the 7-on-7s, he looks like he's really on top of it, man. The ball placement is legit. I mean, the ball is zipping out of his hands. It's getting out quickly. He's got that super quick release. And I think that he looks really sharp. And whenever he does come back to practice fully, I think that he's going to really solidify himself as QB1 here in Pittsburgh pretty quickly. Because you compare Russell Wilson versus Justin Fields in the 7-on-7s, I think Russ is getting through his progressions a little bit quicker. I think he's more reliably accurate in those periods. Obviously, we still need to see Russ play better than Fields in the 11-on-11s to confirm that he'll be the starting quarterback this year. But based on what I've seen from Russ so far this camp, I do think he's going to be the starting quarterback for week 1 to this point. I think right now he has taken, 24 pass attempts in 7-on-7s throughout camp, and he has completed 19 of those 23 passes. And one of them was a drop. So he has been extremely efficient whenever he's gotten on the field this year. He only really had one off day, and then other than that, he's been perfect in the 7-on-7s. So I will say Russell Wilson looking pretty darn good, and hopefully he's going to be moving up the ranks here and start practicing in full sooner rather than later. Moving on to Justin Fields, he also had a really good day last night. It was a good day for the quarterbacks in general. Fields started the day 4 for 4 in 7 shots, so that's 4 touchdowns essentially. Now the 4th one was a DPI on Joey Porter Jr. He was guarding George Pickens. I think the throw was a little bit off target, but I mean Porter was holding Pickens, so it ended up being 4 for 4 for Fields last night. And then also, after kind of a slow start, took a couple sacks in the beginning. He was starting to really hit those intermediate in routes, those dig routes over the middle of the field to guys like George Pickens, Van Jefferson. I'm pretty sure he hit Calvin Austin III as well on one of them as well. And speaking of Pickens, he's really starting to build a connection with Fields. It was really his big day. I think Pickens probably had his best day of practice so far in camp last night. You can tell that he turns it on when the cameras are on, the lights are on, and the eyes are on him. And George Pickens is just awesome, man. Watching him out there moving around the way that he does, he's a legit route runner. They're moving him all around the formation, in the slot, outside, all that great stuff. So Pickens is definitely impressing as well. And Fields is definitely doing enough good things as a passer so far in camp where I'm excited to not only see him in preseason, but I would be excited to see him play if Russell Wilson doesn't pan out with this team this year and they have to pivot to Justin Fields at some point this year. He's just such a dynamic athlete and rusher of the football that, the bar is definitely lower for him in terms of being a passer. All right, I think if he's just even like a top 20, 25 passer in the National Football League, he'll be a top 10 overall quarterback just because of how dynamic he is as a rusher and a playmaker. The ball comes out of his hand very fast. He's got an insane arm talent. He can throw from a bunch of different angles and body positions. Justin Fields is obviously super talented. I do think Russell Wilson still has the inline road to be the week 1 starter, but Fields is definitely doing enough good stuff right now where Russ is going to have to earn his spot as QB1. That's definitely apparent. Something else here, Patrick Queen in the final team period before red zone, which is the final period of practice, he went down and he was very slow to get up, and then he didn't come back in the practice. So I don't know what part of his body is hurting, whether it's shoulder or whatever. It seemed like Patrick Queen might be a little bit banged up, so maybe he won't be practicing today. I'll let you guys know if we see 6 out there this afternoon. And then some other standouts. Marcus Golden, newly signed edge rusher that I've been advocating for this team to sign for a very long time, going back to March, early free agency. I thought he was the ideal number 4 edge rusher for this team, and he really showed that on Friday Night Lights. He was blowing up every single period. He was showing up definitely against the run. That's definitely what he's known for, is he's a really good run defender, and he definitely showed that last night. Cam Sutton, who was playing safety, once again got an interception on Kyle Allen in red zone period. He was looking good out there as well. Mike Tomlin was screaming huge play to the defensive sideline to Cam Sutton after he made that play, which was kind of cool. Then we got DeMarvin Leal, who really played well, on the one-on-one period, during the run period. He's getting after the quarterback. DeMarvin Leal looks like a legit NFL player right now, and that's definitely good news for Steelers fans out there that have been waiting for this guy to show up, and I think that this is going to be his year. It seems like he's really being a standout in camp this year. He's getting after the quarterback. He's making plays against the run. Definitely a good showing from DeMarvin Leal last night. And then another player that's maybe on the outside looking in when it comes to making the roster this year, but maybe a practice squad guy, Julius Welshoff, number 48, with the second team defense, had a number of sacks yesterday. And he was really, really effective. I think he had either 3 or 4 sacks yesterday, just himself, which is crazy. And Welshoff is an undrafted free agent that's coming in here. And, especially with the Marcus Golden signing, it's going to be tough for Welshoff to make the final roster. But if he continues to show out in these practices and in the preseason games, it wouldn't shock me at all if we see Welshoff as an undrafted free agent make this team, well, not technically make the team, but make the practice squad, right? So I think Welshoff had a very good night. And now before I say goodbye for the day here, I'm going to talk a little bit about Brandon Aiyuk. There's definitely a lot of rumors going around out there right now. I don't even know what to think right now. If it happens, great, especially if it's for the right price. But I'm okay with what the Steelers have at wide receiver right now. I think Van Jefferson has exceeded my expectations so far this camp. Same thing with Calvin Austin III. You're eventually going to get Roman Wilson back. I think Scotty Miller has shown himself to be valuable in this camp as well. He gets open a lot. So, if they get Brandon Aiyuk, that's obviously a game-changing move, especially if Omar is able to get him for the right price. And there's definitely whispers and all these different things out there right now that it could happen. I'm not going to go into speculation here, guys. I don't know anything. So, I think it makes more sense for the 49ers to keep him. So, honestly, I would still think that he's going to be a 49er this year. But I guess you never know what Omar Khan, the con artist, is capable of doing. And if he can pull this off, man, that would be one hell of a move this late into the offseason. So that'll be it for today's practice report, guys. Appreciate all of your guys' support. Make sure you guys click that subscribe button if you haven't already. And again, Cassie and I will be in Latrobe later today for Steelers practice as well. We're going to be getting video. We're going to be live tweeting. We're going to be doing all that great stuff. So if you want to get all that content for free, make sure you go follow me on X at Jack_Sperry. Until next time, guys, here we go, Steelers.